and my webcam video stuff being kind of a shit quality right now because for some reason my webcam won't do the widescreen, which is really getting on my tits. Other than that, it seems like everything is good. Okay, that is actually very, very hot. Alright, just going to widescreen, which is really getting on my tits. Other than that, it seems like everything is good. Okay, that is actually very, very hot. Alright, awesome. I just went onto my own channel and looked at the stream, I guess. I hope to have a friend of mine join me, but I'm not sure. It seems like she's not gonna actually verbally chat, but she'll just watch. Ugh. My throat's been kind of weird lately. I'm gonna try to see if I can set up my webcam so then you guys can actually see my see my sculpture and whatnot. Hang on. My friend apparently has a sore throat and a cough, which I had that recently, so I don't really want her to push herself. Shit. My caps lock has been kind of sticky and broken. It's been pissing me off a lot. That's not how you spell verbally. I need to not be such a fucking moron. Okay, this is fantastic. Okay. Oh hey, cool, there are 2 people watching now, at least. That may or may not be my friend, I'm not sure. Why did I open up another tab? I don't need to do that. Copy. Okay. Well, hang on, I want to see again if I can figure out a way okay, apparently, well, it's a good thing I messaged her about that because apparently the what's it called? The link that I sent her if she wanted to actually join isn't working. So yeah, that's great. Off to a friggin' killer start. Oh great, she's having even more issues. Fantastic. My phone is beeping. Here's it's on has texted me, trying to do a million things at once. What the fuck? Oh, god damn it. Alright. Okay, so I don't know why the hell that's happening. That's great. Oh, that's the encoder setup. Oh, hello. Blue and dog. I think that's... Oh! Wait a minute. I'm not sure, is that how it works? Shit. I don't actually... I don't know how to help people join the stream if they want to join. Oh great, now YouTube is gonna email me every single time someone sends a message. I apologize for that. But I just want to quickly silence my phone here. Right after checking a text from a friend of mine. There we go. Alright. Hello, EDA Meyer. God, that is not how you pronounce your username, I can already tell. But hello. Right, want to figure out a good way to set this up. I'm probably not going to be able to see all of your guys' comments and whatnot, so this is basically what I'm going to quickly show you guys. These are extremely noisy. Wow, alright. This is a 3-inch pipe. Hang on, I'm not gonna keep that open. But this is a 3-inch pipe, as you can see. I don't really know how exactly they have this piping thing set up. I'm just gonna quickly check, because fuck, I don't even know what 3 inches looks like. So okay, this is 3 inches and whatnot. And the sculpture that I'm doing is of a person, and I found that if I wanted to do the proportions correctly, the width of the hips would have to be 2 4.8 inch in width, which is approximately 8.6 inches. And, well wait, no, 9.6 inches. Apologies for that. Wow, my math sucks right now. So, that's what it would be, and clearly getting the 4-inch pipes was a bit too big. So, I got the 3-inch pipes instead. So, just gonna... I have the wrapping on here not for any special reason, or for any reason that would mean that unraveling this is a bad thing, but, oh that's right, I did it the opposite way, shit. Well, this is gonna be a bit of a nightmare, yay, but I have the plastic around it because this is a brand new pipe, and as you can see, there's a bit of black on my hands. And the clay that I'm working with is, jeez, I am heavily regretting touching that very quickly. Hang on, just is it all off? Mostly off, at least. That's some bitch. But the clay that I'm working with is this type of clay. As you can see, it's very tan, and I'm just gonna quickly, okay, so it doesn't seem like anybody is making any messages, so hey, that's good, because now I can just look at my open broadcast software, which is slightly off from YouTube, and that's why I need to have it open to see if my camera angle looks relatively good, because I want you guys to actually be able to see this stuff. And I do not like how I have to have my headphones in at the same time, because it is limiting my movement right now, and it's probably going to cause me a bit of neck pain because of what I'm having to do, although I think if I bring it in a little bit closer, it won't hurt anybody. There we go. Not only is it not hurting anybody, but it's hurting me a lot less because now my neck is in less pain. But oh, this is causing me a lot of pain very quickly. Oh jeez. But I have to replace these pipes right here with the 3-inch pipe, which is just a bit of a pain because of the fact that I already have the foil around it because, not the foil, the saran wrap around it because, oh, that's the wrong way, because of the fact that it gets this oil all over my hands, as you can see here, and I didn't want that to be on the clay. And of course with the pipes, I wouldn't put the clay right on the pipes anyway, even with the saran wrap around it, because what would happen is that there would be way too much clay on it and it would weigh a lot, and that would not be fun for anybody. Alright. Oh, this is always great when you have to turn the entire thing around like this. That's always fun. Son of a bitch. Alright, now I am doing it the correct way. That's always good. It's a good thing to do that. Oh, fuck. Bitch. Okay, let's loosen that. Frickin' hell. A little bit without cutting my fingers, which I've done in the past. And okay, yeah, see, as you can see, well, actually not see because my lighting's really, really bad. Kind of want to get that lamp and have it point towards me, but as you can kind of see here, well, I can turn the light on here, but it's really, really bright. No, I take that back. It's not bright at all. In fact, it's a little bit too dim, but it's one of those lights where it's the... Okay, you know what? Looking straight into it hurts my eyes. It's one of those lights where it has the blue tint rather than the sort of whitish tint or even slightly yellow tint that not painful lights, or at least lights that aren't painful on your eyes, are normally. Okay, yeah, Blue and Dog, I'm gonna heed your advice here. And get a hair tie. But yeah, sorry I can't get your guys' message instantly, and also it says that the webcam, or the camming, is live. I can say that it is a few seconds behind, so now it not only was an issue because, oh, hey, you know, you can't get your messages instantly because Google doesn't tell you when you get a message, and also you're having to go into a different window to actually see and make sure that people can see what you want them to see. But also, it'll make it seem like I can't see your messages even earlier, or even later than normal, because it's just straight up slightly behind. You know, it's like 200 milliseconds behind or some shit like that, which would be, I'm trying to think, because I actually had this, not argument, but this kind of discussion with, an adult in my life. I can't remember if it was my dad or who, but, oh, very quickly, for the, I think for the 2 people who are watching me, how's the audio? This is going to be the only time I'm really looking at the what's it called? Fuck. The browser itself, because I am actually legitimately going to ask you guys whether the sound is good or not, whether you guys can hear me, especially when I'm working with the saran wrap like this, if you could tell me whether you can still hear me or not, that would be great. Awesome, it seems like the audio is working relatively fine, but nonetheless, I mean, it shouldn't get too noisy, or too much noisier than that. I have informed mom and dad, I have informed the parents that I am recording, so, and it's a live recording, and because of that, everything that they say, do, whatever, will be broadcasted live. It's not like I can just edit it out. It will actually be instantly put on the internet, and unless I were to delete it instantly, which I could delete it instantly and still have it because my open broadcast software is set so that it automatically saves the progress of what I've recorded. I kind of want to take all these pipes and just put them on my fingers, but I know that that probably wouldn't be a good idea. And they understand that, so there hopefully won't be too many interruptions, and since I've silenced my phone, there shouldn't be any random bursts of loud noises and whatnot. But I feel like I kind of got off track, but that wasn't what I was trying to say. But fuck. I don't even know anymore. These pipes are being such a friggin' pain because I want some of them to be in a particular position here, and I believe that this is the right way. Damn it! These pipes are not acting the way that I want them to, and this is very upsetting. Oh, okay, here we go. Shit. Okay, that was kind of scary. But the way that these pipes are, people say, oh, you don't have to tighten them as tight as physically possible or anything, Deanna, it'll be just fine. But some of these pipes that I want to be in a particular position, mainly the top ones being, why did I just tighten the top ones if I'm going to end up removing them anyway and replacing them with something else? God damn it, Deanna, why don't you think about things like this? Ugh. God damn it. But, what I want the top part to do, which you kind of can't see, but hopefully, just gonna double check open broadcast software before I continue. Is that good? Okay, yeah, that kind of shows what I'm trying to explain here, but I want the arms to be like this, almost like if it was a normal person, it would be like that, which you basically have to make it as tight as possible. Oh, and there's a little bit of clay there. What do you know? Just put it there. Because otherwise, with the weight and everything, they'll just fall down. And I just realized that my cape is almost completely out. You know what? I'm going to make it fully out. I was actually at Home Depot today, and this one guy had yelled out, Batgirl, at me, but I couldn't quite understand what he said, so I didn't really react much. And, yeah, or I didn't technically... It's hard to explain. Okay, oh god, this is gonna be a fucking nightmare. I can already tell. So in case anybody's curious, the pipes that I am using, they are, they're different. That could have killed me. They're different sizes, clearly. This is a different size from this, quite obviously. This is a 7-inch one, I believe. Let's get my handy dandy measuring tape. Wherever the hell I put it. There it is. Alright, so, well, this ended up not quite working. Well, okay, yeah, these are 6-inch pipes, I believe, because I'm doing a child's sculpture, because babies are very, very difficult to sculpt, and I feel like I'm, yeah, these are 6 inches. And I feel like I'm a bit, I don't want to sound braggy, but I feel like I'm a bit too advanced to just go and sculpt a full-sized adult for 2 reasons. One, I've already sculpted an adult figure, which is over there. It's not life-sized. It's about, what did the guy describe it as? Like, not even 1/3, a 1/6 or something of a human being's measurement. It's about maybe a foot tall, although I have it bent slightly because it's supposed to be a warrior woman and she's going like this, like she's about to chop somebody's head off or something. And I would have liked to have done an adult, but one, I already commented that I feel like I'm a bit too advanced and I want to push myself a bit more. And also, that would not only be extremely expensive and wasting of a lot of materials, because this is an 18-inch pipe, and I would probably have to use this. No, I would use this for one part of a leg. You know, maybe a little bit shorter, because how proportions work, and if I re-release this as an edited video, then I'll show a picture, but you guys can probably look it up with proportions. When it comes to full-grown human beings and teenagers, the legs from the hip/crotch area to the knee are 2 heads, which, you know, 2 heads on top of each other, which in a life-sized human being is normally 9 inches, I think, approximately. I've been meaning to measure my head, actually. I've done it once because I was trying to get a proportion measurement idea, but I may just need to do it again someday just to see how close I am to the average. But just for information's sake, I would have to use about this size of a pipe, because there is no 17-inch pipe, as far as I know, at Home Depot, without any sort of special thing. I think you can technically get 1 inch taken off of it if you need only 1 inch, or 1 inch removed from it, and they don't have that size. They can do that for you, but that's normally in cases where you can't really do anything about it. Unlike with here, you know, I could get, I think, a 16-inch would be my next option. I'm not quite sure. Well, first off, I would have to have a little link here, so that would already add about 1 inch. So technically, I would want to go for a 16-inch or something like that in general, but with that, I can also just add on little things and whatnot. And I guess you could technically do that with actual plumbing as well. But I feel like with actual plumbing, it's, holy fuck. It has to be a bit more precise. Oh, Jesus, I accidentally tightened this one a bit too much. Wait. I want to turn it this way. Oh, son of a bitch. Wow, this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, I was able to get it without pulling out the wrench. This is fantastic. Yay. Ah, Jesus Christ, that hurt. Oh, fun little fact for you guys. You see these little pieces right here, and when it comes to, what's it called? The joining thing, there's a term for this that I can't quite remember. Do not ever stick your fingers in here, especially if you have softer skin, because, well, wait. Now it's slightly, hang on. Yeah, I probably want to open broadcast software now, but, with these things, do not ever put your finger in this little hole here, especially if you have softer skin like I do, because it will shred your finger. I have unfortunately experienced this. It's kind of the same thing with this here, and if you don't properly clean it, you might get tetanus. I don't really know. That's not information that I am familiar with. Don't take my word for it. Just know that cutting yourself on this is extremely painful, and you run a risk of getting this random black shit in your bloodstream, which is, I'm pretty sure it's oil, but nonetheless, to me, it's just random black shit. And to anyone else that doesn't know a lot about plumbing, it's just random black shit. Alright. Oh dear. That's unfortunate. I have a face that I've sculpted here, and there was a, object that was, pushing up against it. It was my measuring tape was, pushing up against it, and looks like well, no, it didn't actually cause any damage to it. Other stuff caused damage to it, but not anything like that. And I will show the head when I clean my hands off, but, well, okay, here's a better example. As you can see, my fingertips there were extremely black, and I have nothing against having black stuff on your hands or on your clothes, because I wear all black except for this, because finding a completely black apron is very difficult to find, and this was the cheapest one that they had, so there's no real point in trying to get an apron that's extremely decorative, especially if you're going to be painting and sculpting and doing stuff where most of the time it's probably going to get covered in random crap. With cooking, you can just kind of wash it and be like, oh, well, it's just, a barbecue stain or whatever. This shit is not meant to come out. Or the paints, and especially the clay. The clay that I'm using is wax and oil-based clay. It's not like the water-based clay where you just are able to spray water on it if it's a stain and boom, it's gone, or if it's on any of your clothes, you can just get it wet or whatever and you can eventually get it gone. This stuff repels water, and if you were to put, it in the washing machine, or not the actual, well, if you were to put the clay in there just by itself, one, that's extremely stupid, and two, if you end up throwing it in there or it ends up on your clothes and then you put your clothes in the washer, then it just will not end well, because it'll most likely melt and either get on some of your other clothes, or it could even possibly get into your washing machine, maybe cause damage, especially if it's over time, because I didn't always use this clay. I'm using it now because of the fact that my parents have started to see that, oh, you actually take this clay stuff seriously. As long as you're able to pay for it, you can buy as much of it as you want, which I pay for it now, but when I first started, they happily paid for it because I'm still living under their roof, and at the time, well, no, not at the time, I technically can't get much of a regular job right now because I'm under the age of 18, and I'm under the age of 21, obviously, so there's a lot of jobs that I don't have an opportunity to right now. Holy shit. Well, let's see if it'll work better now. Alright, there we go. So yeah, that's a suggestion that I have. If a pipe is really, really stuck, either... I do not have any cuts, do I? No, I do not, thankfully. Alright. Yeah, take either a cloth that you don't give a shit about or a black cloth. I always suggest a black cloth because, you know, well, whichever one is easier for you to access, and then try to loosen it with this, and if that doesn't work, it'll dry out the pipe and dry out your hands, so then there is no oil or, well, oil on the pipes or oil on your hands from whether it be sweat or just working with this stuff at all. Yeah, it'll dry it off completely, and then it'll be easier to take it apart and whatnot. And I completely forgotten that these are 45 degree pipes, which is kind of bizarre to me because 45 degrees, you know, well, this is 90 degrees, whatever, and 45 degrees is technically even less than that, but here it's, you know, it's 45 degrees is more like, that would be 135 degrees technically, but I'm not an engineer, so I don't know, I guess. But actually I'll just sit down for this part because I don't like standing for too long. But as you can see here, just want to get that black shit off my face. As you can see here, this is bent a lot less than a 90 degree one would be. And I wanted something like this because the sculpture that I'm doing, it's not completely straight like this because I don't want to sculpt in the wrinkles because of this kind of being a bit of a practice, but a much more extreme practice. It's a personal project of mine, so I wanted it to be a little bit more bent, which this isn't 90 degrees here. You know, this isn't 90 degrees, and this isn't really a 45 degree one either. I wish that I could, like, point that out. But, you know, it's a bit less than 90 degrees. Son of a bitch, why can I not seem to... Well, at least when you look at the pipes, it looks a lot more bent than it does just alone like this. So I kind of wish that there was something maybe halfway between these two, you know, this being slightly less bent and whatnot. Well, hang on, let me see if I can show it to you as a bit of a side view here. I want it so that, you know, of course there's nothing really that I can do about this part. There's going to be a bit of an indent there, but I don't want there to be, you know, any sort of wrinkles or whatnot. I want the skin to be as taut or as tight as possible, and as you can see here, a 45 degree one looks like it could possibly fit, but it's the outside part would probably fit a lot better than the inside part does because it bends a lot more than how it looks like it bends and whatnot. It's kind of weird. Not a huge fan of it personally. Let's see if, nope, well, there's another person watching, but it does not seem like there are any more comments. Alright, so move it back over here. I'm just gonna sit down and let you guys see this because my legs are starting to get kind of sore and whatnot. And I also kind of need to just sit down to put in a bit of strength, I guess. But since I want it to be bent, what I would do is I would have, well no, this is where the wrist would be because this end here keeps it from having this part, which I've mentioned many a times I do not like because it cuts into stuff. What I would do is I would have it that the arm would be raised a bit here and whatnot. So this would be where the elbow is, and it wouldn't be perfectly straight like this. It would just be ever so slightly bent. So, you know, imagine that this is the shoulder, because I'm still going to have it be that the 90 degrees. It's going to be like how it is here. I just want the arms and legs to be completely straight like this. And I'm going to have it so that the elbow will be here, but instead of the elbow being straight, kind of like with this, I'm going to have it be done so that, and I hope this makes sense to you guys. I'm just going to try to, this is really, really weird because it's not mirrored. I kind of wish that I had mirrored it so then it would be easier to place things, but the shoulder is going to be here and the wrist is going to be here, but instead of the wrist being right in the middle there, like that how it would normally be, it's going to kind of have it so that the part that would be bent, the underside right here, is going to be closer to the pipe than the pointed part, the outside part, which would be more up here. And just gonna check again, making sure that there are no more comments. Alright. And now I just, well, actually, it'll probably just be best if I do it right here. Ah. Right, so come on, that. Okay, that looks about good. Now let's do that to the other pipes before putting in the shoulder, because I'm just thinking about it right now and I want to do that right now. But let's have this turn a little bit so then there's not so much dead space. Alright. Damn it, I should have gotten a drink or something. Well, actually, no. Where the hell is my pomegranate's over there. Well, not my actual pomegranate. I could never handle a fruit with my hands like this to actually eat it. So I have my pomegranate blueberry juice that I drink sometimes. And for those asking, you know, you can technically, if you wanted to sculpt like this, you could, instead of getting 2 6 or 7-inch pipes to make one arm along with a straight connector, you can, but son of a bitch, why will this not go on there like that? Fuck! This is very, very frustrating. There we go. Instead of getting a connector, you could technically do that, but I personally didn't want to do it because it gives you an idea of where the knee would be, and I kind of like that personally. There's just something about that idea that it's a nice way to mark where the knee would be without having to measure it constantly. And technically, I guess when you put the clay over it, depending upon how you sculpted it, it probably will just get hidden. I don't really know. I plan on, I have a bunch of paper here, packing paper, that I'm gonna put around the metal so that there isn't so much of a weight. when I'm putting clay, or when I'm finishing it, because if it were to be nothing but clay, that would be extremely heavy, and this right here would possibly bend and break, and I don't want that to happen. Alright. There we go. That looks about good. Huh. Where would that other pipe be? There it is. So quickly, I'm probably just gonna use these for something else, the 4-inch pipes, I guess. I mean, I'll see. I can probably use them for something. And something else that you guys should probably want to think about if you're wanting to do something like this is don't measure it in the sense of you have to have the pipes, especially the joints here, be right up against the skin. That's kind of a mistake that I made, because then what will end up happening is that if you were to sculpt it, the clay would be right on the pipe, which you don't want that. What you want is to have, well, with the paper and everything, probably about 1 inch, 2 centimeters, depending upon where you're from, of space, so that it's not so difficult to sculpt. Try to make it so that the pipe would be like a bone. You know, it would be right in the middle of the sculpture, rather than it being, well, right on the edge, whether it be because it's, what am I trying to think? Well, whether it's on the outside or on the inside, depending and whatnot. You just have to be kind of careful with that, take a lot of notes. Don't do what I did and just go out on a whim and think that it'll all work out, because it won't. It won't do that. Alright, just a bit so that it's out like that. Because I want it to be a bit more straight, I guess. So, alright. That looks about good. I'm also trying to figure out whether, because I have 2 18-inch pipes here, because the height of a child that I'm trying to make, which is a 5-year-old, is approximately about, what did it say? It said about 42 inches, which is what I'm trying to do. And these are the 2 18-inch pipes, so the, well, the exact measurement, because with the connectors it's slightly different, so from top to bottom it's about 38 inches, which is actually a bit on the small side for what I want, but there's also the head, which means that technically I would want it to be at 35 inches, now that I think about it, or probably a little bit more than 35 inches and whatnot. But because the angle here is not 90 degrees, so the leg isn't standing up perfectly and whatnot, because I want to, again, not have any wrinkles or problems with that and whatnot, That's why it's technically shorter than the 35 inches. So I could probably, if I'm able to find pipes, because I don't want to have it be only 4, because if I were to do that, I would lose, as you could see here, I would lose a lot, because this is approximately how much there is in that. And I mean, I'll see about what I can do, but I don't really trust myself right now. I'm wondering, since there's only, yeah, someone else has already left the stream, let's just put that down here a bit, or technically like that, because this is getting a bit difficult with me constantly talking and whatnot. I don't really like doing that. My throat gets kind of sore after a while, and it's already getting kind of dry, and it's, what, January? Still technically winter-ish. Sorry. And plus I'll have to go wash my hands, which will take a while. I don't have anyone to keep the stream constantly going or to do it back and forth with, so I feel like that's just unentertaining. What this video was about was not just the sculpting. I was hoping that the sculpting could take a bit more time and whatnot, but I feel like it's just kind of pointless right now. But in my last video, I said that this live stream would also be explaining why I haven't been able to upload any videos lately. And part of it was actually answered technically in that video, which was that when it comes to making videos on my phone, because of how little space I have on my phone because of games and apps that I'm just kind of stuck with, I'm not able to really make videos on there. Or at least I feel really, really not uncomfortable doing it, but how do I put this? When I make a video on there, I constantly have the fear that it will run out of space, my phone will run out of space, and it'll just completely remove everything that I've done, because I had that with a 14-minute long video, and my throat was getting really, really sore, and it wasn't fun. I ended up not uploading the video even after I tried my best to redo it. I tried to use YouTube's video recording software, whatever the hell that was, and that didn't work out at all. It's not really working. I'm trying to go back to see if I can edit it, because it seems like YouTube does have an editing software of some kind, but at least now I've been able to figure out with the open broadcast software that I can record my webcam, because that's how I'm doing this, even though it's some sort of weird full screen thing versus widescreen thing, I guess, which I could fix in multiple ways, but I feel like I want to do it in a slightly more technological way where it actually it looks really, really good, but I'm not completely sure of how well that would work. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what will be going on. And if you're watching this right now, which there's only one person watching it now, great, because it says 2 people watching it, but I have the broadcaster open, so, well, not the broadcaster, the video itself open, so then I can read the comments that you guys are making, which, oh, and I got another viewer, great. Well, the video's basically ended right now, but what I wanted to say was that I'm having issues with video editing softwares. That's my main issue. That's been a real pain, along with recording in general, unless it's a game recording, not really working too well. That's a bit of a problem. A little bit more than a bit of a problem, but you guys know what I mean. What I'm having my issues with is that I found an editing software that I thought was really, really good. It was NCH or something like that. It was a VideoPad video editor. I can't quite remember. It worked really, really well, and I liked how it was set up. But it didn't corrupt any files necessarily, but when I tried to edit things, it would lag, the video would be off from the audio. Sometimes when I tried to add in text or an image, it would mess it up really, really badly, and it would kind of ruin jokes, and it made me really, really sad because I put in hours and hours of editing just for it to say, you know what, fuck you. That made me very, very upset. I have this one video of my friend and I playing The Sims 4, and we went on for about 2 hours, and what happened was I tried editing it, and the editing was just fine. I put in a lot of jokes that my friend really, really liked, but then what was it that I did? I tried converting it to an MP4, and the thing about this software is that there's the demo version and then there's the full version. I was technically able to use the demo version for as long as I wanted to, although then it all of a sudden decided to change its mind, I guess, and it was kind of pissing me off, so I uninstalled it. And then when I did use it in a special demo version, which is the if you do it within the first day of you downloading it, you could technically have it be like you purchased it, and you can what's it called? You can convert the type of files yourself within that, because no other video converter seems to be able to convert videos from that. And I've had a lot of audio that I recorded off of that device because, again, I didn't have any other recording software other than OBS, and I didn't realize that it could record things other than screenshots. Now I know. So it's not just that the video editing software isn't working and I can't edit my videos, but now the audio that I used that software to record is now not working. It's not obtainable for me, and it really, really pisses me off because I did do cuts and I did edit out some things and edit in some things, whatnot. It's yes, I can make a White Eyes video once I figure out the editing software, of course. I think I can do it unedited, but I don't really feel like doing it today because, you know, I just did this. Again, my throat is sore, and school's gonna start again tomorrow, and I mean, I may do it today, I may not. I'll see about uploading it within about a week or so. I mean, I know that I don't have a whole lot of subscribers and whatnot, and the fact that I have subscribers that actually talk to me, yeah, it is a lot of trial and error. Thank you, Blue and Dog. But it's, you know, and I do love it when you guys message me. It shows me that you care and whatnot. But I've just been having a lot of technical issues, and it's just kind of screwed me over in multiple ways. I want to upload things like gameplays, like I mentioned with my friend and I playing The Sims 4. I played a bit of that game Yandere Simulator, and I would like to edit in clips and edit out moments where I just wasn't talking. My Skyrim on my computer isn't really working well, the Skyrim on my Xbox is working well, but I don't have any softwares that can record on my TV because a lot of them cost quite a bit of money, and I don't know if there's any that are just sold at Target or whatever, because then I don't really mind paying money for that because I can just go to the store and buy it. But a lot of these are online sales, which I always have to ask my parents about that, or at least my dad, because he knows a lot of the technology stuff, and I really don't like buying stuff online. I'm just gonna say that right now. And it's very, very frustrating for me personally because of the fact that I have that issue. And I'm probably gonna get over it, especially when I get my own place. But while I have my parents here again, or at least my dad, to say, hey, there's this thing that I want to buy online, I will give you the money of what it is worth that you had to pay for, and you can just buy it for me online, and he's totally cool with that, then I won't want to actually buy things online when I can just get them from a store. So I would want to talk to him about that as well. I also have this weird thing where for some reason it seems like I always see things as much more expensive than they actually are. Anything that's in the double digits range, I always have to rethink whether I want to buy it or not. Of course, depending upon the thing and whatnot, but especially for this, some of them were selling for $100. A friend of mine was able to point me to one that was actually reasonably priced and whatnot. So if that ends up working out, I will hopefully be able to upload content on me playing Skyrim. I was also hoping that, again, once I get my video editing software, that I will make a bunch of videos, or not a bunch of videos, but make it a bit of a series called Skyrim Talk. Wow, my voice just has been cracking all day. Skyrim Talk, which will not necessarily be me or someone else playing the game. It will be either just me, maybe a couple of my friends who also play Skyrim, which honestly, out of all my friends, none of them play Skyrim that I know of, which kind of sucks in this case. But it would be just a talk about things in Skyrim, not any sort of lists, no top 10 mods, no, top 10, top number, anything. It would just be discussing, things that are a pain in the ass, things that are fun, Xbox versus PC, or something like that. I think Skyrim is on the PlayStation, not PlayStation 1, because that would have been a bit too early, and probably not PlayStation 2, I don't think. Likely PlayStation 3, and I know PlayStation 4, but with the PS4, it's not just Elder Scrolls, but it's also Elder Scrolls Online, whereas if the PS3 does have Elder Scrolls, it just doesn't have it online. It's like the Xbox at 360 versus the Xbox One, where with the Xbox 360 it doesn't have Skyrim Online, and with the Xbox One it does. I'm not gonna get an Xbox One anytime soon because okay, yeah, thank you, Blue and Dog. That's kind of what I thought, but I never really researched it, and I'm not a PlayStation person. I'm Nintendo and technically the Xbox, although I only got the Xbox when I was younger. I got it just for Connectimals, which was a huge mistake, but hey, now I have Skyrim, so yeah. And there's actually an interesting story behind how I was able to get that game, but the point is that I feel like I could make an interesting talk about Skyrim and the things that I've learned about it from it and whatnot. and just have discussions about what's good, what's bad, yeah, and whatnot. And I have other videos that I want to do and whatnot, but if I don't have an editing software, it's just not gonna be fun. I have Windows Movie Maker, but fuck Windows Movie Maker. I thought that because the first time I ever used it was back in 2011 that it would have been better by now. It's worse. It's honest to God worse now. I can barely understand why it exists, and it pisses me off so much. But if you guys have any ideas for video editing softwares, preferably free ones, just because unlike something with the sculpting where I have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on it, video editing and YouTube stuff, uploading videos, it's not something that I intend on making money on in the future, nor do I intend on making any sort of occupation of it, or even doing it regularly, as you can see by all of my videos and how far apart the time zones, the time of the videos being uploaded are. You know, there's months and months in between videos. And I know that there are some people who upload videos years in between, but those people also don't have a whole lot of subscribers unless they're one of those weird channels where they're known for uploading weird stuff, or there's some sort of story behind them. I saw a video about the top 10 creepiest YouTube channels. I can't remember what it's called. I feel like it's one of those where it's just somebody slamming someone else's head on a keyboard, or their own, depending, and just coming up with a username like that, which I guess is creative, but I guess it's more creative than what I did or how I came up with my username. But I feel like I could also upload things more often and quicker, because especially with gameplays, they are very easy to make a lot of them, because what some people don't really notice that I would know because I've edited videos is that I play this game and I will play it for hours on end. And then if I go back and edit it, and if I even come up with 2 hours, I don't upload the 2 hours of gaming. I would split it up into, gosh, I'm trying to do the math here, 12 10-minute parts. And then I can go back and play even more of it, and I could get just 5 videos all the way up to 20 videos out of that alone, just one sit through. Especially since when I do gameplays, I don't have a camera on me and whatnot. Because when I have a camera on me, I feel more obligated to actually take advantage of it, make silly faces, or actually talk, which I don't want to do the entire time. And just for the record, I want to make this perfectly clear, and I will say this in any video that I want to. I don't care how repetitive it will seem, but I will not make a gaming channel. As much as people seem to have made multiple channels with gaming and whatnot, I could easily say who may have started it, or maybe do research on it and whatnot. And I don't mean something like PewDiePie or Markiplier, where they're known for their gaming channels, and mainly for their gaming channels. Their gaming channels are basically their main channel. I'm talking about Smosh, Dan and Phil, and people like that, where they started out making vlogs or skits or stuff like that, and then they decided to make a gaming channel. This was originally just supposed to be a mixture of a lot of things. as you guys have seen, I've uploaded videos of just me talking. I'm doing one on technically sculpting right now, or as an update, mostly. But I was able to make a video talking about sculpting, so I have a few things in here that people could take into account or think about if they're wanting to sculpt something. It's not just, you know, me talking about it and doing things that are only for entertainment and can't really be used outside of entertainment. I'm trying to be slightly informative with that. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, I do things like that. I do things like very quick reviews and my feelings towards movies that are a bit deeper than I think it's bad or I think it's good. I did the top 10 crushes list, which I actually intend on remaking, since I was talking about my childhood and I feel like there were a lot of characters that I kind of forgot about but then were reminded of, maybe because I saw a video with them in it and then I'm like, holy shit, I totally forgot about that character that I knew from my childhood and I had like a huge thing for, whatnot. So I would probably remake the list, rewrite a script or whatever. Again, hopefully have a good video editing software. Just something like that. And that would be really, really nice. I may actually think about going back to some of my old videos, and I don't want to say deleting them because that just sounds really, really bad, but there are just some videos that I feel like people don't need to watch. And they're almost all of my videos before this point, I would say, other than my hamster video, or just don't watch any of my videos. They're all kind of cheaply made and whatnot. Again, because video making and video editing is not an occupation of mine that I wish to pursue. Yes, I do want to go into movie making, but that is much different. I don't want to really go into that right now because I feel like I already have a lot of stuff that I'm spending a lot of money on, that being the sculpting, the painting. I've recently bought a lot of yarn because I've been getting into knitting and crocheting and whatnot. So if you guys have any suggestions for good free softwares that hopefully don't have any viruses in them, even if it's one of those where it's a free demo, kind of like the other editing software that I mentioned before, but in the sense of it just limits what I can do with it, and it's convertible. You know, the videos that I'll make aren't, the videos that I'll edit can be convertible and converted into .avis or .mp4s. That'd be great. So yeah, I think that's just about it. Because of the fact that there's only 2 people who are commenting and only 2 other people watching, there's not going to be too much of a of an instant buy, so I would oh, thank you, Ed Admire. Why can't I ever get these usernames well done? God damn it. But thank you, sir. Or ma'am, now that I think about it. I don't know. I just always assumed that you were male, I guess. But anyway, because of the weird lagging, or not lagging, but because of the fact that as I'm saying things, there's what's it called? There's a bit of a setback, I guess. You know, it's 200 milliseconds, which doesn't really sound like much because it's milliseconds, but there's still a bit, and I feel like it's more of actually a few seconds. So if I were to say, you know, hey, I'm gonna be out. Do you guys have anything that you want to say before I go? There will be a long ass pause and whatnot. But if you guys have any suggestions for the editing softwares and whatnot, or capturing softwares, although I do have the OB software or something like that, which is what I'm using right now, even with the webcam, although like I've said, it's a weird sort of full screen versus widescreen thing or whatever, which looks kind of bizarre, especially since I just realized how off-center it is. Wow, if I have to do this again, I will fix that most definitely. Even if there's a bit of a black bar, I will at the very least try to have it so that each side is symmetrical, in case you guys have OCD like I do and it would bother the hell out of you the entire time. I deeply apologize for that. I was trying to fix that earlier, but problems will be problems, I guess. Maybe I'll see about if this does happen, because the quality of the camera isn't too bad. It is just the weird full screen thing. I'll see about either making a background to substitute the black, or I'll make the background be my, what's it called? It's not a background, but what the thumbnail is, and what a lot of the times, you know, my profiles, it has the little thing at the top that they call it multiple things, I can't quite remember, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not giving you enough credit right now trying to explain this to you. But that's all that I really had to say. If you're in the live stream now, you can comment or say what you would suggest for a good video editing software. If you're watching this and it's been however many days or however many seconds and the stream's over, then feel free to comment it. I hope that the comments won't be disabled, because sometimes it does that. It'll just automatically disable the comments on, you know, my videos or my pictures or what have you. So that's not fun. But if you have the ability to comment and you do know of a good video editing software that is free, hopefully, send it to me. And don't be surprised if I don't want to fully trust the one that you sent me, especially if I don't really know you too well. I'll do a lot of research because I'm not stupid, and my computer is it's going through a lot of hard stuff right now. And by hard stuff, I mean that I'm internally beating the shit out of it with all of the games and all of the programs that I have on it. Not that they all have viruses, but I have a lot of high running games on here, and I think the only reason why I can actually do this is because I uninstalled there was a Star Wars game, the Old Republic, which was an online Star Wars game, which was a lot of fun, but I didn't use it enough to warrant its existence, especially since it was the file that had the most, it took up the most information, the most space on my computer. That was just inconvenient, and I felt like it wasn't worth it, so I had to uninstall it. But if you guys could, that'd be great. Thank you for watching anyway, if you do. I realize that I ramble on a lot, and it's I don't know how to explain it. It's sometimes just kind of boring to see someone ramble on and whatnot. I understand that. I just don't really know how to say goodbye without thinking first if there was anything that I wanted to bring up or cover, other than hopefully I will upload videos again soon. This was a bit of an explanation as to why all this shit has been going on. Again, there's no personal stuff, no tragedies. Nobody really died, and that's the reason why it's been held back. I mean, yeah, people that I've known in animals, like I've said before, that I've known have passed away within the past few years or so, but that's not the reason why I'm making videos. Clearly it's because of technology being a dickhead. That's why. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to make other videos soon and entertain you guys, because my subscribers mean a lot to me, especially with them sticking with me since I've just not uploaded videos at all. So you guys don't have a reason to subscribe to me, and yet you do. I'm really grateful for that. Alright. Peace.